Welcome back to another episode of the Ready Set podcast. My name's Ricky.
My name's Angus.
And I'm Derek. Hey, we're all back together again after a short hiatus. I guess you could call it short.
Yeah, it's like a month. It's like a month and a half to 2 months, basically.
Probably like 2 months since we
released. Yeah, a lot has happened. We're gonna do a life update on what's been happening. The reason why we were gone for so long is because I went on a trip. Went to Taiwan.
Went on a trip. Derek went
on a trip. You went on a trip. We all went on a trip.
And we planned it in a way where they were all in
different times. Exactly.
And also one after another.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like at any one point, one or two of us was missing.
Yeah, so that's why we couldn't really film for like the longest time. But I went to Taiwan. Went supposed to go to Singapore, but I didn't go.
Why?
Because my passport. Okay, so for people who want to travel to Singapore, your passport needs to be 6 months, more than 6 months before the expiry date to go to Singapore, and that's when you leave as well. So mine was fine going into Singapore, but within like the third day in Singapore, it would have been expired. And I was there. I think I was only gonna be there for like 5 days only, right? So even then, they denied my boarding.
Wow.
And I didn't know that. So basically the guy denied it. He's like, hey, you can't get on this plane. I'm like, I was freaking out because this never happened to me. I paid for the flight. It's quite expensive. Hotel's really expensive as well. And so I went with a friend. Everyone knows, probably seen him on this podcast, Aaron.
Good old
and we were freaking out, and we basically messaged his brother, his family. We're like trying to figure, and his brother travels a lot, so he's giving us tips like, just talk to the manager, like escalate it. So I was escalating. I was like, hey, I have like huge commitments. I gotta be there. I can't miss it. But they're like, the guy, you can tell he was like kind of like starting to give in a little bit, but he's like, no, I can't do it. I'm so sorry. I was like, can I talk to the manager? I want to escalate this. He's like,
You gotta Karen up.
yeah, and he's like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. At the end, they did not let me on. And Aaron had to make a choice in like 10 minutes and be like, hey, do you want to be on this flight or not? So I literally told Aaron, no, just get on the flight. We already paid for everything. You can't get a refund on the hotel. Like, might as well, right?
It's better for at least one of them to take advantage of everything they paid for rather than having them both not take advantage of it.
So at the end, I was like, whatever, I'll figure it out myself. So Aaron went through the security check. I was trying to figure out my end. So I went to WestJet side where the counter is, and I explained the whole situation. And I'm like, hey, look, I can't go to Singapore, but our flight is together, right? We booked everything together. What can I do? I have no idea what's supposed to happen now. So they're like, okay, we'll just separate your flights into different like confirmation number. So I got my own, and she was like, okay, you just got to call WestJet and tell them the situation. And I'm like, I can't do it here. Like, this is the counter. It's like, no, it's a whole different thing. And I'm like, okay. I called them, spend like probably almost an hour calling WestJet, explain my whole situation.
Oh, you're still at the airport.
Still at the Taipei airport, not even past security. I was like in the crappy side outside. And I was talking to this lady. She talks so slow, like those math teachers. And at the end, she's like, okay, I got you a flight today. I'm like, yes. And it's at 9:20. And I'm like, did you say 9:20? And she's like, yeah. I look at the time and it was like 9:10.
Flight to where?
Back to Vancouver.
Back home.
Yeah, so
straight flight.
no, it's not straight. It's a connecting one to San Fran.
Oh.
Even the regular one is connecting because it's a cheaper flight. But even then, like, I don't care. I just want to go home by then. Like, I'm already pretty upset. So I was like, oh crap, I only have 10 minutes. Like 9:20, it is 9:10. And I ask him like, isn't that quite soon? I'm like, am I still gonna be able to make it on the flight? She's like, don't worry about it. They got your ticket at the counter. I made sure. Just walk up there, they'll give you the ticket. I walked down there, no one was at the counter. So I was already freaking out. I walked to the help center. I explained, I'm like, no one's at the WestJet counter. What do I do?
Minutes.
Yeah. And then she was like, oh, they're at the back at like the back of the terminal at lane 7 or lane 10. I went to the back.
Wait, meanwhile, you were carrying all...
Yeah, my luggage. I'm like pushing it, running. Went to the back and I'm like looking around like, what am I supposed to look at? I don't see anything. There's no WestJet sign, no nothing. So I ran back. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. The lady like walked with me all the way to the back, and then it's literally in a corner, and luckily their door was open, so it's like their lunchroom. So then I went there and I like explained, I was like frantic, explaining to the lady, I'm like, hey, the lady, I have a flight for this. They said I got a confirmation number, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, nope, it's too late. It's too late. You can't make it. I was like, no, like I called. They said that you have my ticket. Like they said I can get on the flight. Just like, no, you have check-in luggage. We can't do it. And then one thing I remembered, she said that this is not a train. Once you miss it, you miss it. And I'm like, oh. And I told him, like, what do I do? She's like, you got to call WestJet again. I'm like, and then she closed the door in front of me. I was like, oh. So I was already like pretty defeated. I called WestJet, which was like another hour-ish meeting to talk. And I basically explained the whole situation. At the end, they're like, okay, we can get you a flight the next day. So it's basically, I have to spend like 24 hours at the Taipei airport.
Hey, it would have been a very good content if you had filmed it.
So yeah, this guy has audacity to tell me to film it, and I was so depressed. Like I've never been that sad ever. I was so defeated, so sad, and this guy's like, "You should film it." I'm like, "No,
it would have made great content."
I was so upset. So I was basically there for 24 hours, and let me tell you, Taipei Airport not like when you pass security, you guys need to upgrade everything. Mossburger closed before lunchtime. Everything was like basically closed. You guys have no bench or like at least like a sofa or nothing. It was all just single seats. You got a wooden bench, but then even then it was super narrow. You can't really sleep. I probably only slept like an hour and a half or maybe an hour until a Chinese man came in blasting his music while clipping his toenails. I woke up to that and I'm like, oh, it was like 1:30, and I'm like, okay, dude,
in the morning.
In the morning, yeah,
that's like peak Asian right there.
yeah. So I couldn't even sleep, and I was like, okay, so I just went to go like, and they had a shower, but the shower opens from like 8 to like I think like 3. So basically, I couldn't even take a shower. So I was like trying to do my best, do my facial stuff, and I was basically up till I think I was like basically up for like a day and a half because I can't sleep on the plane either. So I was editing videos and just walking around the whole airport, and I would sometimes have security guys like follow me because I was literally just walking around the airport because I had nothing to do.
They're like, "Sir, do you need help, sir?
Yeah, man, like Taipei is a great place, but airport, like you guys need to step it up." But yeah, basically by the time I got back, I crashed so hard. It was good, but then we went on the next trip was the cruise, which I actually joined Derek.
Yeah, there was 4 of us. So funny thing about that cruise was we probably wouldn't have gone on to it because, we might have, considering everything, but the original cruise trip that we were planned was actually between me and Vince. And Vince was actually supposed to take some of his family on there because he was going to... he's going to treat them essentially. But because he didn't want to stay in the same room as his family, he had asked me if I wanted to tag along because I had mentioned I hadn't been on a cruise for a while. And this was way back in 2019 when we were discussing it. And so originally we had booked it for May of 2020, and it was an Alaska cruise. And of course, we all know what happened in 2020, right? And so once they completely canceled all the cruises, they gave Vince back, I think, like half his money, and then the other half was in credits, which he had to book by 2022. So now that we reached 2023 and he booked it all, it was like basically his parents didn't want to go on the cruise anymore, and so we're like, all right, let's make a group trip out of it. So became the 4 of us. So me, Angus, Vince, and our friend Kira.
Yeah, so it was basically just like 6 days?
7 nights, 8 days.
Oh, 8 days, 7 nights. Oh, shoot, that's longer than we. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's like basically a week.
Basically a week, yeah. Because it was like half days at the start and the end, right? So
like I would say that's probably a good amount to be on a cruise. Like any longer. Yeah, you have to go with friends. Like I brought board games, so that helped.
Why they have board games on the cruise?
Very
It's
bad
very,
ones.
it's kind of like
very minimal.
Yeah.
It's like Scrabble and like the really old ones.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like food was pretty bomb. I think I made it a goal to eat ice cream, soft serve ice cream at least was it like once a day. So sometimes I eat even at most like 3 a day.
Oh.
And then my goal was to try every single dessert too. So man, I ate so much on that trip. Amazing. But then I got so seasick and I didn't know I get seasick.
Oh.
I actually got really seasick.
That was your first cruise.
No, it's my second time. But the first time is only like 3 days,
Oh, okay.
2 nights, so it doesn't really count.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys hit some
But-
rough waters. Huh?
Yeah, so like we had to change.
Yeah.
One of
we
our routes.
canceled our last port day. So we were supposed to go to Ketchikan
Okay.
on our last port day. So there was 3 ports. Skagway,
I don't even know.
the first one, and then like Ketchikan was the last one. And I think that was actually where most of us were going to get our souvenirs and stuff for everybody.
They canceled that.
But they yeah, because they said there was like a storm system moving through that area, and if we had stayed in Ketchikan, we probably would have had to stay at that port for an additional day just because the waters would be too rough. So instead, they made a call to like go like basically race ahead of the storm system and cushion themselves in between like an island, because we were the outside passage, and so they decided to switch to the inside passage where they were in between an island and other lands so that the waters would be more calm.
Yeah, it was
But I
still
guess-
rough though. Like if you were to walk a straight line, it's impossible. You're literally going from side to side. That's how extreme. And even I was lying in bed, I could feel myself shifting like crazy. And so I didn't know I get seasick, and I got seasick.
Oh.
Like I felt really
Threw
bad.
up and everything.
I didn't throw up.
Oh.
I was really good not throwing up, but I got to the point where I'm like, hey guys, I can't handle it. I need gravel, and then gravel makes you sleepy.
Yeah.
So at the end, I'm just like, yo, I just
Did
need
somebody bring it or you buy it?
Kira brought
Kira
it.
brought it,
I
yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
Or-
Like
or-
I didn't think I needed it. So at first I was in denial. I'm like, I'm not seasick. I'm like, just need some fresh air. And I just hang out outside for the longest time. And Derek was like, I think you're seasick. I'm like, nah, man, just kind of hot inside, you know, stuffy.
Not with you asking for fresh air every 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
You'd
I'm
be
like,
"They're gonna go
I'm
outside."
like, can we just stay outside for a bit? Like, let's get some fresh air. But yeah, it was rough for I think it was like a couple nights.
I think we were considering everything. I think we were probably the youngest adults on the
Oh.
cruise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all seniors.
It's all
Yeah.
seniors. There was like some families with like young kids like in high school and stuff like that. But mostly it was all seniors. But it's great.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Everyone there was like really friendly. Like,
Yeah,
you
super
know, they helped
friendly.
you out.
got a lot of giveaway swag. Have to sit in a lot of diamond learning about
Presentation centers.
Tanzanite.
Tanzanite.
I learned so much
What's
about that.
Tanzanite?
It's one of the most precious jewels in the world. Eh? That's what they always say.
Yes, because they had I think it's called Effie.
Yeah.
Effie Jewelry. So basically,
Not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
It's,
not
it's basically
sponsored.
like a chain, and they were doing every day. They would have an event.
So it's like a pyramid scheme kind of.
It is a pyramid scheme. It's like what's those schemes where you go in and they tell you about like the products and you get something out of it.
It's
Timeshare. It's like a timeshare.
timeshare. Yeah,
It's exactly like a timeshare. You go in, they talk for like an hour, and at the end they
You
give
just get your free
they do
stuff.
giveaways or they
Yeah.
give you free stuff. Like it's like cheap stuff, you
Yeah.
know, like a little pendant.
Well, I mean,
It's not
they,
cheap.
they had a few things that were very good. Like,
Yeah.
it was like they did give away like 3 major things, which was like one was diamond earrings, and then like a diamond necklace.
Yeah. Well, the necklace that we got isn't cheap too. Like, cause you could trade in. It's $50.
Yeah, but
per
they're-
each.
But then they're like, you can only use it on the cruise, right? And I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure a lot of their products were more than that.
Yeah, but I learned a lot. Got some free stuff. Ate a lot of food. Good time.
Yeah, I
But-
think the cruise is probably one of the times I've seen you eat the most, like in
Oh.
straight successive days.
Okay, we literally ate dinner, and then we went up to the buffet and we eat dinner again.
Yeah,
We got dinner number 2.
And then after that, I'd go out and get soft serve. It's like it was My God, I ate so much that day. Like it's not even that day; it was every single
day,
day,
yeah.
basically. But that's basically all you do at the cruise. Like you're just eating. But for some, like their pizza though, let me tell you, their pizza, high quality pizza, is probably one of the best pizza I've ever
Outdoor
had.
pizza, right?
Yeah, with like the oven. It's like really fresh pizza. Like it was good.
It's like those pizzerias, not the fast food kind, the
artisanal
the
kind of.
artisanal kind.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's actually like if you were to, it would be rated very high if they open up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would cost a lot of money, but basically it was free.
Yeah,
So you
I
just
think
eat
it
a
would
lot.
be like one of those $4 a slice kind of deals if
Yeah.
they were to open up here.
Yeah,
but it
but
was like very, very good. Like,
yeah, but we had a good time. And then I know Ricky, you went to Halifax.
Yeah, I hit up Halifax. I was always kind of curious to see what's over there.
Yeah.
I expected to eat a lot of lobster, but that was pretty much the end of lobster season.
Oh, so what was it then? Like, what's the replace of lobster? Like, was there something else?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I
shoot.
had a lot of raw oysters, so that was pretty great.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oysters are good.
Yeah, Halifax exceeded my expectations. I feel like nobody really talks about it, so I was kind of curious what's over there.
So what's like the population like over there then? Like is it a small town vibe or is it like an actual city vibe? Kind of thing?
It's definitely a small town vibe.
Everyone knows each other kind of thing.
People know each other. I think the biggest population is people from going to the university. So Dalhousie's over there.
Oh,
so we
right,
see a
yeah.
big mix of people in the university age.
Oh,
and
nice.
then, a lot of people that are seniors.
Yeah.
So yeah, but otherwise it's pretty great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You were there for like a week, right?
I was there for 3 or 4 days.
Oh, really? Oh, I always thought it
I
was.
think that's enough. Like for
There's not much to do?
It's honestly not that much to see.
Do they have like those? Do they have any like big malls or anything for entertainment kind of thing? I've always been very curious because I've never visited that side of Canada.
Yeah, they probably have a mall. I don't know. I didn't really go look at a mall.
Oh, okay.
I went to 2 museums. That was
Yeah.
pretty great. And
Food was pretty good too.
Food was pretty good, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from
Surprising.
your
In
pictures, it looked really
in
nice.
their bar district, there's actually
Oh,
some
wow.
pretty good food there.
Oh.
Food is a little bit more expensive, I think.
Oh, really?
than what we have
Really?
here, yeah.
Seafood?
Just food in general.
Oh.
And beers were about $10 a pint.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they have their HST there, so
Oh right.
things really stack up.
Oh,
Is it
sure.
15?
But you get paid more though over there though, right? Is that why?
I don't know.
I think people in Halifax complain about low wages.
Yeah, the minimum wage is definitely lower
It's
than
lower.
BC.
But the housing is cheaper?
Housing is a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
like, would you compare them to Calgary levels or Edmonton levels or like?
I never been
Like,
I haven't gone-
let's say that right now, I think they're about like 500 to 600K for a house in Calgary.
so I was looking at a little bit at real estate in downtown Halifax. It's almost comparable with
Oh,
Holy.
but bigger though. It's bigger space.
Vancouver. Pretty comparable to Vancouver.
Oh,
Same
damn.
square
They're
feet.
building a ton of condos and everything as well.
Oh,
Oh.
shoot.
Pretty wild. But outside of Halifax, which they call the suburbs, 20 minutes outside of downtown, houses are
Quite cheap
pretty reasonable. Like maybe like 450 to 550
for like a giant
Oh.
house.
for not a giant house, but definitely older houses.
Mm-hmm.
60s or sorry, built in the 60s, 70s.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Those are
front
pretty
yard,
old.
But you get front yard and backyard and everything.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that means if you're willing to drive, then that's
Yeah,
that's not
drive
gonna-
23 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Think you'll go back?
Yeah, I'd go back.
Yeah.
Oh, I always want to check out.
Yeah, honestly, like I think one of my future goals is definitely I want to kind of try to visit the other cities of Canada because I've only ever been to Edmonton, Calgary, and Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, so
when were you in Toronto?
Huh?
When did you go to Toronto?
my dad was on a business trip over there once, and then so we happened to go there, and then we were flying elsewhere.
Oh, like last year?
Yeah, no, this was like when I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I was there.
Okay.
But we stayed there for like a week, and like he took us around to take a look at the city and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't go to like the outskirts, like was it Vaughan or I forgot what the Asian area is called again.
Oh, like Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, so I was like,
Markham.
oh, Markham, yeah. So it was it's always been like very interesting to me because I've always wanted to visit like Montreal too. Because they always tell me that if you ever want like a taste of Europe, Montreal is probably the closest you'll ever get. Quebec City, yeah.
I heard the food is really good.
Yeah. So it's one of the life goals.
After Halifax, I hit up Toronto because one of my good
Wedding.
friends- wedding, yeah.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I was in Toronto for 6 days. Yeah, it was pretty good. Stayed in downtown, and their downtown is pretty trash.
Oh, really? Compared to ours? Oh my
Like-
It smells like piss everywhere.
Oh, it's like the
Oh, no.
homeless issue, or
No, it's like the sewers. Yeah, they've got some sort of sewage issue. Constructions in downtown all the time.
that's nasty.
But I mean, once you're out of downtown, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Because they supposedly have a better highway system than we do, right?
They do.
Yeah.
So it's really convenient in the highway goes through the city, so you could be from one side to the other side really quickly. Assuming traffic is not like gridlock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would you say transit's comparable over there too?
I heard it's worse.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's very full. It's very packed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a demand there, but it's just like not. I guess.
I heard our transit
well
over here in
done.
Vancouver it's actually really good. We just complain a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we're
Complain about
entitled.
complain about all the good stuff.
Over here, we're entitled, so
Yeah.
it's always a complaint, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so yeah, once I got back, I heard something happened with you, Angus.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I got a bunion surgery. So for people who don't know what a bunion is on your toe, on the side of your toe, I guess that joint area, the bone
big toe,
sticks
the big
out.
toe?
The big toe, yeah. The bone sticks out. So then your toe kind of your
Like a
big
tooth?
toe,
Or what?
it's like it's like a knuckle. If you look at it.
So it's an extra knuckle.
Yeah. So like the bone tends to stick out, and so your big toe kind of point inwards, and then of course that causes a lot of pain. For me,
How did that grow for you?
it's because I didn't buy new shoes, and it's because of my dad. He yelled at me and a lot of trauma, so I didn't want to buy new shoes
Wait, so how long have you had a bunion for?
since I was young. So what I learned is that what I was told is bunion usually comes from it's genetics, but none of my family has it. So I even brought it up, and my dad's like, "Oh, maybe genetics." I'm like, "How can you say genetics? None of you guys have it. What the hell?" I'm like, bro, it's you. And he's like, "No,
and
not
then
me."
he breaks out that talk. Angus, I got something to tell you.
Yeah,
You're adopted. You're like, oh my god.
but I look like him though. That doesn't make sense. Try to pull that card, but basically that's what it is. And sometimes it doesn't cause pain, but for other people it does. And for me, it was actually causing a lot of pain when I start working out, which it was affects a lot of my stability, and also after, let's say, athletic like plyometric movements like jumping, lunges. I couldn't even do a lunge properly because I couldn't bend my toes completely on the ground, on the
Really?
floor. I had to angle it
Oh.
like this because of the pain, right?
Oh,
So if-
okay.
I'm on the people watching the video. This is my right hand. This my thumb. I had to like angle like this because I couldn't press on it like that.
Oh.
I had to like angle because of the pain. So it got pretty bad. I talked to my family doctor, and she's like, "Hey, better do it now than do it older because it's gonna hurt way more when you're older." So I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I work in the office. I work in front of a computer, so it's the perfect time, and I can work at home as well." So I got the surgery done, and it's 3 weeks now, officially 3 weeks.
Oh.
And a lot of people say it's worth it. Right now, I say it's not because the pain hurts. Let me tell you, it hurts so freaking bad. Okay, people say it's worse than an ACL tear, like when you repair it. So it's even worse than that. So, luckily, my girlfriend's sleeping over. She helps me a lot. Like, I can't do a thing. Most easy. I fell 4 times already. I broke my chair.
Yeah.
Right over there. I
He
broke my
gave
chair.
it the people's elbow.
And it gave me a bruise right here. It was yesterday, and I thought, because I don't use crutches. Like, my whole life, I never used crutches. So to finally use crutches, you forget that, I have crutches, or maybe I placed it over there.
Oh, you don't know where to put it.
Yeah, so like it was literally right next to me.
Yeah.
And if I'm thinking about something else, I forget. So then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hop my way to the couch, which is pretty close. And I don't know what happened. Maybe I like hooked my leg on the chair, but I just fell. And I wasn't even wearing the boot either. You're supposed to wear the boot, but wearing the boot hurts my feet. So I didn't wear it, and I fell down, broke a chair. It broke my fall. I don't even know if it broke my fall, but I don't think I broke anything. But in the end, like, it's just constant pain every day. So I was on high painkillers. I'm still on it, but I only take it at night because it gets addictive.
Good old opium.
Yeah, it's so good.
They gave him the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right there.
But like, trust me, like the pain is as if something. Okay, so the first couple days after the surgery, the pain, like my feet was so swollen to the point, like it was bandaged up, right? But you can tell it was like.
Did you have that throbbing sensation?
No, it felt like an exploding sensation. It felt like
The pressure.
and it felt like the bones just wants to like pop out of my skin while someone is taking a dagger and run it up and down. That's how much it feels like at the same time. And wearing the boot presses it, like compresses it. So I had to leave it out, and you had to elevate your feet all the time to let the blood go down. And so I was doing that. So I was literally just lying down most of the time. I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen I was watching and playing games just to take my mind off the pain. But even there's certain times the pain was so much I couldn't even like focus. So now pain is at like a 5 to 6, maybe 7 sometimes now, 7.5. But
So where was it at the surgery though? Like pain scale out of 10? Like
no, they knocked me out. This is my first time getting knocked out.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, that feeling when you get knocked out, it kind of hurts.
it hurt?
Okay, so anesthesia, yeah. So I never had that feeling. Like, have you had it done?
From wisdom tooth extraction.
Yeah.
So like the feeling, so what did you feel?
Just woozy and very
Did you feel like echo noise?
no.
So I had that. Like the guy's like, hey, I'm gonna start like start doing the thing,
IV drip.
IV drip, and I'm like okay, and then they're just talking to me, and then sooner or later, start getting a little like echoey, and the vision start getting a little blurry, and then I'm like, I think
Just like those video games.
yeah, it is like the video game. It's legit like that. So I was like, while he's talking to me, I'm like mid sentence, I'm like, I think I'm feeling it right now, and he's like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of feels blurry, and he's like, yeah. It's like, but the surgeon's not here yet, so I need to dial it back down. And he's like, I don't know where the surgeon is. I'm like, okay. And then they were like, hey, we need to find a surgeon. So he dialed it back down. Surgeon came back in. He dialed it back up, and I start feeling again. And then he start doing something else. I don't know what he did. No. He put in another medication.
Oh.
And then he said, this is gonna feel like sunshine. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, sunshine? What does it mean? How does it even feel like sunshine? So as soon as like it was going in me, so as soon as he put it in, he told me a couple seconds later, I feel a very sharp pain.
Oh.
Like, but it's very, like, if you were to explain it in colors, it's a sharp pain, but it's very bright and intense.
Like the warmth? Like if you get burnt?
so it's like a burning sunshine feeling, but it's very bright. Like it's weird. The feeling is very bright and intense. And all of a sudden you're just like, oh, like it's as if you got a light, like a ray of sunshine on you.
Did you feel that flow from your arm?
Yeah,
into
all the way into like
up to
myself.
your shoulder and up to your head, kind of thing.
It went. I feel it just going straight in me, and then starting to like affect my vision. And then later they give me the breathing thing, and they're like, breathe in, breathe out. And I was in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna pass out that quick. So I like put it in, and I'm like I wasn't really like focused all the way in. I'm like, wait, if I keep doing this, it's kind of dumb. Because if they think that I'm passed out, they're gonna start cutting me up. And then later I'm like, oh no, I gotta take really deep breaths. So that guy literally like put it in my face and pushed it down. He's like, breathe in hard. So I breathe in, I think like within the third breath, I just passed out. Like the fading was super fast. Like as soon as you inhale, you're like all the way in, you can feel everything start like fogging up. And yeah, it was. And I woke up and I was in the bed and I was like very out of it. They're like, Angus, are you awake? And I was like half awake. And I was like, yeah, I'm awake.
So drugged up.
Like that, I was so drugged up. Like it's as if I'm high and I'm not really awake yet. And they were just asking me questions. And the whole time in my head, I was telling myself, don't be so obvious that you're still sleepy. So the whole time I'm like, yeah, I'm awake. Yeah. And it's like, do you know who I am? What's your name? I'm like, Angus. Like my answers would be so long.
Elongated.
Yeah. And at the end, they're like, what's your pain level? I'm like, I think it's a 6. And you're like, okay, more painkiller for you. So first, right after, I think the pain wasn't bad. But as soon as the numbing
Wore off.
wore off, dude, the extreme pain, Jesus. Like usually they ask you scale 1 to 10, right?
Yeah.
Mine was the 11.
Oh,
Like
not really
so
that
mine
bad.
kept going higher and higher, and I'm like, oh, I think this is like 8. And it kept going higher. I'm like, okay, I think this is a 9. And then once it hit a 10, I'm like, okay, I think this is a 10. And then it kept going higher and higher. I'm like, fuck, where's my pain meter? It's going off the charts. I'm like, yo, this is straight up 11. It was bad. But for people who want to get bunion surgery, honestly, the pain is crazy, but people do say it's life-changing. So I really hope
Yeah.
it's life-changing.
So he'll
'Cause-
give you an update in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, so the recovery is basically 2 to 3 months so you can actually go back to normal. So I haven't worked out. I worked out once. Probably not really a good idea, but I did upper body. Basically, you can't do any lower body, but you're basically out till 2 to 3 months, and that's when you can actually start doing normal stuff. Right now, I'm on crutches. I got a scooter, but even then, like I don't leave my place because I fell 4 times already. Like imagine being outside. It's even more embarrassing. So
What if you were on the road?
yeah, exactly. Like it's very hard for me to move. I'm just not used to it. It's hard. Like I can't even do the most simplest stuff like carry because you're holding crutches already. You can't carry anything. So if people are planning to do a bunion surgery, just make sure that you have someone that can take care of you and meal prep, and just basically you need someone to live with you. Like I got lucky, but if I was to have no one living here, honestly, I don't know how I
You
can.
probably just have to live with your parents for a bit. Then.
Yeah, like yeah, that would. But then they have stairs.
You stay.
My parents are like, "Oh, you can stay at our place." I'm like, "You guys have stairs. Doesn't make any sense."
You stay in the living room all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, "How am I gonna shower?" Because even their shower is upstairs.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, it does not make any sense. And showering sucks ass. Like this, at the end of the day, shower used to be my like pleasure. Now it sucks. I hate showering. Such a hassle. Feels like you're gonna slip and break your back. It's just I have to keep my leg out, so
Can't
it's
get away.
I can't get it wet because it's still like my stitches is still like it's still raw. Like you can still see like where it splits open, so it's kind of nasty. But yeah, for people who want to do bunion surgery, hey, it might be worth it. Everyone on Reddit was saying it's worth it. I was so close to bailing when I was in the hospital.
Is it the nervousness?
Yeah, I
before
was
the
so
surgery?
nervous. Like I was literally on the bed. They like went through all the checklists, and then later I start getting nervous, and I'm like, maybe I should just walk out. Maybe it's not too late. And then the guy's like, "Are you ready to go in?" I'm like, "Yeah." And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
You
Guess
already
not.
committed. There it is.
Yeah, it's literally like the movies. Like they stroll you into the surgery room, and there's a giant bright light. There's like maybe 5 people in there. Dude, it's scary. And as soon as I went in, I'm like, hey, it's like the movies. It's like, yeah. So yeah, so that's a huge update that's been happening.
Update.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but hopefully we'll start, filming some more, and
Yeah.
you guys start seeing more of us again.
And maybe we'll do more food challenges because we just released the last food challenge.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well.
Drive-through challenge where we went through 6 fast food joints.
Shout out to Aaron and Quacky.
And Quacky and Shani who joined in at the end. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. Maybe give it a like
Yeah,
and
drop a comment down below. We'll
Yeah.
try to respond when we see it.
yeah, let us know if you want to see us to do other challenges. But in the meantime, you can find us at Ready Set We're on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify,
Instagram, all the socials.
yeah, everything's in the link tree. Like this video, hit that notification button, and we'll see everyone on the next one.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.